Namo Naya Samayantanam, Namo Naya Swadhay, Namo Naya Swadhay, Namo Naya Swadhay, Namo Naya Swadhay, Omkaramendo Sanyam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Mokshadam Chayomkarai Namo, Manganam Bhagavanayo, Manganam Gautamam, Manganam Kunkundari, Ujendra Mosumanganam Namasanastara, Swanam Bhutya Jatati, Swadhay Bhavaya Tattva, Vibhav Yusanidata.
Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Aryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Vajjayanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrika Varti Savanam. Om Karam Bindu Sanyuktam Nityan Dhyayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Cheva Om Karaya Namo Namah. Nama Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimirandhanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangaryotane Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupama Gati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Vandi Kahon Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabrata Are Hon Eka Sutta Sada Arupi Jnana Darshanmay Kare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nati Are Jamanitra Tema Jnana Nati Karaka Nati Vedaka Are Jani Jakaram Hodaya Nirajara Bandate Majamokshane Om Namah Siddhevyo Om Namah Siddhevyo Om Sri Suddhatmane Namaha. Jai Janendra. So we are, today is August 24, 2016, Wednesday, and we are doing our regular Swadhay on Samaysar. And we are on the prelude for the Samaysar stanza 11. And as that Samaysar stanza 11 involves partial point of view, Naya and everything, so we are getting some basic information about the Naya. What is the absolute point of view, what is a partial, what is the conventional point of view, and what are the subgroups and everything. And we are getting familiarized with that, because when the Gatha comes, when the stanza comes, Gurudev Sri is going to go kind of rapidly thinking, assuming that we already know those parts. So that's the same thing that we are doing it right now, to make sure that we are ready for that one, because to understand that stanza, our foundation for partial point of view should be somewhat stronger to stand on it. Otherwise, we get totally lost in that thing, and we don't want to have that. And so that's why we are doing this one. And so we will start going to this slide right away. I'll have to go share screen, and then can you see this slides right now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Now? Not yet, huh?
No.
There is some problem has occurred in my computer that does not give me.
Yes.
You can see it now. I'm going to bring my slides again on the, no, slide don't want to come here. Let me go here. As for slides. Okay. Now, can we see the slides?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. So last time we stopped at slide number 14, and yeah. So we already found it out from previous slide. Let's go a couple of slides for. So from partial point of view, we said absolute point of view and conventional point of view. What are those things? We talked in detail about it. That absolute point of view means the way things are. That's it. And conventional point of view is to accuse something with the association. We were talking last time that a bottle of mouthwash. Bottle of mouthwash. You mean bottle is made up of mouthwash? No, bottle is made up of plastic. But because there is association, there is a mouthwash residing inside, so that's why we accuse and say mouthwash and bottle, and we say bottle of mouthwash. We make two things together. I am Kirit. If I say I'm Kirit, means I'm the soul and there's a physical body. Both combined together is given name as Kirit. So that's an accusation. Means two separate entities are merged together, and that's what we identify that one. Now, yes, it has its own role. It has its own role in the life. But right now, we have to understand the nitty-gritty thing that conventional point of view means two separate things to merge and tell that that's one thing. My body. Body is matter, and I'm the soul. Soul and body are merged together. My body. So that is the conventional point of view. There is one way of conventional point of view tells us that way. Absolute point of view means I am the soul having association with the matter physical body, and they both are in the combined state at this point, and that is an absolute point of view. But if somebody says, who are you? I'm not going to say I'm the eternal soul substance, was never born, will never be destroyed. I have my own existence, and matter has its own existence. Matter was never created, will never be destroyed. Now my modification in this time and matter's modification both came together, and that is came to be known as human being. I can't give on giving this kind of information to everybody all the time. So now I'm the body. I'm the human being, period. So conventional point of view continues your day-to-day business, and it makes, when I say I'm body, you already know that I am separate from body. You already know that soul and body are separate, but the vehicle, the language vehicle we are using is conventional point of view. So I'm absolute point of view, have understanding within me that I'm the soul, and association with the body is a transient in nature for this life, which may go for 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, whatever. And thereafter, there's going to be dissociation of body and the soul. We are already aware of that part, but still I just say that I am the body because it conveys the meaning. So conventional point of view has its own spot in this partial point of view system, but absolute point of view is an ultimate thing. And let's see, that was a slide next time. And this one we have made the differentiation with both those things. We already went through all the details of that one. Then we came to this important slide. What it said, conventional point of view is an illuminator of the absolute point of view. Vyavhar nahi, nischayno pratipadak che. Means, when I say I'm the body, means if you are looking for a soul, then you have to look for a body and the soul is residing in that body. So when I say I'm the body, means I'm talking from conventional point of view, then it tells me that soul is residing within. So conventional point of view illuminates the absolute point of view. Now, on the other side of the coin, absolute point of view negates a conventional point of view. It just doesn't consider presence of conventional point of view at all. Absolute point of view says, I'm here, I'm the soul. There is no association with the body, because for time infinite in the past and time infinite coming in the future, I as a soul will never become body, even though I have association with that. Water and oil, you mix it up, you try to do as much mixing up as possible, but no, water remains water and oil remains oil. Same way, soul remains soul, matter remains matter. So absolute point of view negates conventional point of view. And conventional point of view directs to the absolute point of view. It's an illuminator of the absolute point of view. So these 2 points have to be cleared in our mind to understand. And thereafter, as we proceed further, we will know the importance of both. Remember, in Jain scripture, if there is only absolute point of view is required, then why there is so much description about conventional point of view? Because me as an ordinary person has no experience of my eternal, permanent soul's nature. I did not get direct experience of that. Only the way I can be told who am I is through the conventional point of view. Acharya Bhagwan, he knows, omniscient Lord, he knows, and that's why they have taken the support of a conventional point of view to explain to me who am I. I'm talking to somebody, hey, who am I? You are the eternal true nature of the soul. Doesn't make any sense to me. But Acharya Bhagavan will say, listen, do you become angry? Yes, I do become angry. Somebody makes my life miserable, I do become angry. Where is that anger coming from? It is coming from me. What is that me? That me is a soul. So through the medium of anger, Acharya Bhagavan is trying to explain to me that there is a presence of soul. Do I have the ego with me? Yes, I'm full of ego. Then the soul is behind, soul is hiding behind that ego. So you take the example of onion, for example, and Jain class to talk about onion is not right, but you take the one leaf out, second leaf out, third leaf out. So you take those anger out, deceit out, ego out, greed out, brag out, dvesh out, all those things out, and whatever is left over, that's a soul. So conventional point of view is very important for us to understand that thing. So there is both the things, they have their own importance. Then what we said, conventional point of view are two different types. That's where we were last time, and we were discussing. So we will just do impure synthetic and pure synthetic. Asadbudh and Sadbudh. conventional point of view, original definition means it merges two separate entities and makes them as one. This is my phone. That's a phone. Phone is there for sure. I am there for sure, but I put my mindness, my ownership on this phone. This is the matter things. You know, there was a brahmachari, there is a, brahmachari ji, a follower of Srimad ji, he wrote down one nice things in his book. I think it's a Bodhamrut, He says, one day a person came to me and said, he's very unhappy today. Why he's unhappy? Because he lost his $20 bill. He just doesn't know how it got lost. Did somebody took it away, or just when he was taking wallet out, it fell down? He doesn't know. But he was very unhappy. How can it happen to me? Remember, the $20 bill is a matter particle. It's a piece of paper. I put my ownership on it, and so when I lost it, I'm unhappy. If the $20 bill getting lost from you makes you unhappy, and that's a matter particle, which you would have spent anyway to put the gasoline on it, for example, now this matter particle, this body, when you're going to lose it in the future, how much unhappiness is going to give you? So you have to understand that two opposite things to put it together as mindness, ownership, my ownership on it, that we should be careful. We have to do that in daily routine life, but at the back of my mind, I should be aware of it, that they are separate from me. So that's a conventional point of view. Two opposite things to consider as one unit. And that is called impure synthetic or asadbhut Naya. What it says shows difference in between virtue, shows unity in distinct entity. This impure synthetic or asadbhut conventional point of view, impure synthetic conventional point of view shows unity in distinct entity. Two distinct entity to say one. I am the human. This is my body. This is my shirt. This is my phone. This is my book. All this thing, when I say, I put my ownership on two different distinct entity. And so it's called impure synthetic conventional point of view. There's another definition for this conventional point of view is called pure synthetic or sadbhut. Sad means to be present. Asad means not to be present at all. Means two entities can never become one. I was in the Nigod, lowest form of life, since time infinite. And thereafter I came out from Nigod, from lowest possible form of life. I came to 1 sense life, 2 sense, 3 sense, 4 sense, 5 sense life, and infinite time passed by. And I accepted infinite bodies and I rejected infinite bodies. I associated with infinite bodies and I dissociated with infinite bodies. Having said those things since time infinite, still I did not become matter. Matter did not become my own. So, showing unity in two distinct entities which never are one. But it shows, that's why it's called asad. Asad means it has never been like that. They're separate. They cannot be one unit. And that's called asad, means it's an impure synthetic. Okay? All right. Now we are coming to pure synthetic. And pure synthetic is very interesting to understand. We have done 7 stanzas in Samaysar. And if you remember what that 7th stanza in Samaysar said, that if I can say knowledge, perception, faith, conduct, attribute as in the form of division, then also it's not right. 7th stanza. We can read the 7th stanza completely, and we'll read the 7th stanza and see how it goes, and then we'll just take meaning because it has importance of its own here. Charitra darshan gnana pana vyavahara kathane gnanine charitra nahi darshan nahi jnana gyata suddha che. Charitra, the conduct attribute, the faith attribute, and knowledge attribute, when we are talking about it separately, then it's called conventional point of view. Second line, it says there is no conduct attribute, there is no faith attribute, there is no knowledge attribute as a separate one. They are all as a one. So, for example, what is happening here in the pure synthetic or Sadbut, all the attributes are present within me. How many attributes are there? Infinite attributes within me. Infinite attributes are within me, but they are in indivisibility state. Infinite attribute in the indivisible state, in the sense, if I take one attribute out, for example, they all will come out. As we give the example of that bag of rice. Bag of rice has a, let's say, infinite rice particles are there. I can take them one at a time if I want to. But attributes in the soul, they are in the indivisible pattern. Wherever there is knowledge, there is a faith, there is a conduct, there is an eternal existent attribute. All those attributes are acting as one only. So all the infinite attributes in the unison, in the indivisible pattern. And if I make them in the divisional pattern, then it's called pure synthetic conventional point of view. For example, if I am drinking some juice, somebody made a juice and I'm drinking it, and it's just absolutely amazing juice that person has made it, and I'm drinking it and I'm experiencing the greatness of the juice within me going in. Now I'm talking to somebody next day, and I said, I went to Ankit's place and I was given a fantastic drink, mixture of substances to make a drink, and it was amazing amount of drink. Then somebody will say, but how did it taste? Can you tell me? Well, it was amazing. It was great. I experienced in unity the whole thing. When I was gulping down, it was just, I was experiencing the whole juice at a time. But somebody said, but please explain to me, how come it was a fantastic? How come it was great? Then I said, there was sugar inside. There was ice inside. There was a cardamom inside. There was a lemon inside. There was a saffron inside. Now I'm making separate thing from the juice, from the drink. When I'm drinking that drink, I'm enjoying it as a complete whole one drink alone. At the time, I'm not separating that, okay, I experience a sugar right now, I experience saffron right now, I experience cardamom right now. No, I experience juice with the drink completely as it is, in total. But when I'm describing, then I'm making separate thing. There was ice was there, water was there, red color was there, rose essence was there, cardamom was there, saffron. So I made division of the indivisible thing that I experienced. The drink I experienced was indivisible, and now I'm talking and making division to convey to the next person how great that drink was. Similarly, if I'm experiencing the soul right now, then I'm experiencing infinite attribute in unison, in indivisible pattern. I'm just having extreme amount of pleasure, experiencing my soul, having infinite, indivisible attributes. When we ask Acharya Bhagwan, when we ask Omniscient Lord, but Lord, please describe, how did you feel? What did you feel when you had experiencing of the soul? Then Acharya Bhagwan says that I experienced a soul where there was a knowledge attribute was there, faith attribute was there, conduct attribute was there, eternal existence attribute was there, substancehood attribute was there. So now Acharya Bhagwan is making division in the indivisible things. When we are making divisions in the indivisible thing, that is called pure synthetic conventional point of view. Because in the soul, attributes are not in the describable pattern, the way we are describing on piece of paper. Write down 10 attributes of the soul, and I'm writing the soul has a conduct attribute, soul has a faith attribute, soul has a knowledge attribute. But so I'm making divisions when I'm thinking that way, I'm writing that way, but they all are in the indivisible pattern. They are not to be divided. So when I'm making division in the indivisibility, that is also called conventional point of view, and that is called pure synthetic conventional point of view, or Sadbudh. Sad means to be present. Knowledge attribute is present. Conduct attribute is present. Faith attribute is present. It's present, but I'm making divisions in the indivisible whole soul substance. So that's why it's called pure synthetic or Sadbudh. Here, Asadbudh means soul and body were never together and I just consider them to be together. Here, all the attributes are in indivisible pattern and I make division. So these two distinctions has to be clear in our mind. Asadbudh, impure synthetic, two opposite product to be considered as one. Impure synthetic. Pure synthetic, indivisible substance to make division within. Just like the 7th stanza we sang just now. So, is that point clear to you? Two parts of the conventional point of view. One is a pure synthetic in which we are making division in the indivisible things. And other is impure synthetic in which two exact opposite things we consider as one. This has to be clear in our mind. If there's a question, you speak right now, because we are going to go even further detail. Okay. So here again, pure synthetic.
It sounds good to me. I got it. I think I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about everyone else, but I like the way you explained it. It was good.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
Again, see, this is this bullet. Impure synthetic Asadbudh means showing unity in the distinct entity, and here Sadbudh or pure synthetic shows difference between virtue and virtuous one, soul and attribute. They are together, but we make them as separate. we make divisions within them. So virtue is an attribute and virtuous one is a soul. So between soul and attribute we make division, or between the attributes also we make divisions. So soul, attribute, modes, they all are in indivisible pattern. And when I make divisions within, that this is soul, this is attribute, this is mode, those are the things that are not right. And that's why it's called Sadbhut, Vyavahar Nahi, or pure synthetic conventional point of view. Okay? All right. So now that we know that part, we go further detail. So we just give it differences between those two. Pure synthetic or Sadbhut, it makes division in the indivisible things. Okay, we know that part. Impure synthetic or Sadbhut, to make unity in two distinct entities. Okay, we know that part. Here, soul has a knowledge, soul has a conduct, soul has a faith, all those things that we just say. That means we are making division in the indivisible thing. Here, I'm the body. I'm the doer of the material karma. This is my car. This is my house. So those are the making unity in two different entities. That's a impure synthetic. Pure synthetic shows the nature of the things with divisions. It is showing the nature of the soul. It shows that the conduct attribute, knowledge attribute, faith attribute, all those things they're showing with the division. In impure synthetic, two different entities make unity and shows them as one thing. My car, my money, my house, my body, like that. In the pure synthetic, in the indivisible thing, it shows division of attribute and also with modes and with karma, etc. So these are the divisions I'm making, all those things. This karma means bhav karma over here. Don't worry about that part. We'll be coming later on those things. Over here in impure synthetic, it says it makes accusation of one substances with the other substance. One substance is attribute with the other substance is attribute. One substance is mode with the other substance is mode, and vice versa, and a permutation combination. So substance, attribute, mode of one substance, substance, attribute, modes of the other substance, and I just mix them up. So 3 times 3 is 9 different ways I mix them up. I'm the substance and I'm the mode of the matter particle. So that's one mixing up. I'm the knowledge attribute and I'm mixing up with the touch, taste, smell attribute of the matter. Like this, so those things that I'm making it, so that's an impure synthetic. Now that we know those things very well, okay, that we have done this one. Now that we know it, now this new one comes out. There's a last part coming, and so there's a last part in the sense, in the last part in the division. There is two points coming out, upchar and anupchar. What it says, upchar means fallacy, antimony, symbolic, alien belonging, attachments, possessions. Bear with me, it will be clear. Anupchar means opposite of upchar. It is genuine, non-fictitious, literal. To make it easier. Upchar means this is my phone, right? I said this is my phone, right? The phone and me, they have separate space point. Phone space points are here, my space points are here, me as a soul, so here right now. My space points are here and phone space points are here. So they are far away from each other. Space point separations are there. That's called upchar. means it's a fallacy. This has its own space point. It has its own characteristics, and I just say this is my own. How can it be possible? But if this is not mine, then can you take it away and run away? No way. This is mine. You can't take it away from me. So that's called upchar. They're away from me, but still I believe that they are mine. Anupchar. They are within me, in the same space point as me, and still they're separate. For example, I am the body. Means I as a soul and body as a matter, they both occupy same space point. Wherever the soul is residing, on the same space point, body is residing. So they are very close relationship with each other. This one having a separate space point, so it's away from me, so it's upchar. I'm the body. This body and the soul are residing there extremely close to each other. These are away from each other. This is away from me, so it's called upchar. This is exactly very close to me, it's anupchar. Anupchar means closest and upchar means far away. Let's put it that way. Yeah, words are there, fallacy, antinomy, symbolic, and all those things, and it doesn't convey the meaning. So upchar means having separate space point from me. That's upchar. Anupchar means something occupying same space point as a soul. This is one way to think about it. Now, remember, I'm not interested in the matter particle. I'm not interested even in the body, because Acharya Bhagwan says, I'm trying to explain to you, and I'm trying to explain to you in a gross form, but you to understand the finer points. Gross forms are okay to understand, but you have to understand finer points. To explain the finer points, Acharya Bhagwan is taking help of these gross points, saying that phone is away from me, separate space point from me, that's why it is upchar. And body having the same space point as a soul, very close contact, and that's why it's called anupchar. There's one definition of one way to define this one. But when I'm coming to the soul itself, I'm in the soul right now. How do I put upchar and anupchar? Remember, upchar means something which is away from me. Same way when I'm in the soul, what is the thing that is present within me which can be removed from me? For example, I have the inclination of attachment, inclination of aversion, I have the anger, I have deceit, I have an ego, I have a greed, I have a ignorance within me. All those things belong to me. All those things, they belong to me. But with proper means, they can be removed. They can be taken away from me. That's why it's upchar. I'm the soul, and in the soul there is a inclusive of attachment, rag, inclusive of aversion, dvesh, anger, deceit, ego, greed, ignorance. All those things are present in the soul, but they are never been there forever. They can be possibly removed, and because they can be removed, it's called upchar. They can be taken away from me. That's why it's called upchar. For anupchar, I'm the soul and I have the knowledge attribute. Knowledge attribute is so close to me that it is indivisible pattern. It can never be taken out. It's always there, always there, always there. even in the lowest form of life, Nigod, it's there. Even in Siddha Bhagwan, it's there. And in between every living being, knowledge attribute is present in the soul, no matter what. It can never be removed. It's extremely closely associated. So that's called Anupchar. Gross form, this is my form, can be taken away from me. This is my book, can be taken away from me. So it's called Upchar, gross form. Gross form of Anupchar means I am the body. Because body and the soul occupy same space point. That's why it's called Anupchar from gross point of view.
Kirit,
Yes.
is the Samyak Shrut Gnan Paryay of the Gnan Gun, is that Upchar or is that Anupchar?
It depends what way we look at it. Samyak Sut Gnan Paryay, because it's a Paryay. See, hold on to that question, because I think probably it will be very important for understanding this part first, and then I'll answer before we are done with the class. Gross form of Upchar, Anupchar means things which are separate space point from me is already away from me. That's called Upchar. Gross form of Anupchar means I have the same space point as body and soul. So they are very close to each other. So it's called Anupchar in the gross form. In the final point, now I'm in the soul and I'm talking from a soul's perspective. Anger, deceit, ego, greed, rag, dvesh, agnan, all those things can possibly be removed in the future. It can be, they are removable. They can be thrown out from me. That's why they are called Upchar. And I have the knowledge attribute, perception attribute, conduct attribute, faith attribute. They are part of the soul that can never be separated from the soul. They are the soul, and soul is a knowledge, knowledge is a soul. So they are called Anupchar. So these are two different ways we are going to put Anupchar and Upchar. If, at least this point, if you have a question, raise the question, because it's very important to understand these 2 points, because thereafter things are going to move rapidly. Okay, now Ankit raised the question that Samyak Sut Gnan Paryay, is it Upchar or Anupchar? Samyak Sut Gnan means the modification of the knowledge mode of a person who is an enlightened one. So that mode is a pure mode. So soul is a substance, knowledge is an attribute, and a pure mode coming from the knowledge attribute is called knowledge mode. It's a scriptural knowledge mode. Sut Gnan Paryay. Now, it all depends which angle am I looking for. Is that mode occurring within me or occurring in a matter particle? It's occurring within me, so it's an Anupchar. But that mode is transient in nature and it dies after one samay. So it is transient in nature. That's why it's called Upchar also. So it all depends which angle we are looking at it, from what perspective we are looking at it, and all those perspective we have to have knowledge about it. So once we are done with this kind of things after 2 or 3 classes, we'll just throw the question that the rag, influence of attachment, can be seen from 3 different angles. So because it's what perspective we are using. Perspective is a bottom line. In the partial point of view is perspective. Am I the son or am I the father? Tell me. Well, I'm both. From what perspective perspective you are looking at it. Am I the transient nature, or am I permanent in nature? Perspective, what perspective am I looking for it? If I'm looking from modal point of view, I'm transient in nature. My thought process, I have increase of attachment right now. Next moment, I have increase of aversion there. Thereafter, I have the anger. Thereafter, I have deceit. So those perspective is very important. What perspective we are talking? We can't, in partial point of view, we can't put one thing and talk about it. We need to have two to compare. Two to compare. So that's why it's called Naya is a sapex. Naya is sapex means Naya, if the partial point of view is relative in nature. Naya cannot be nirapex. Naya cannot be without any comparison. It is always present with association with something else, and that's why it's called partial point of view. So Ankit's question, whether that knowledge mode of an enlightened person, which is a pure mode, could it be upchar or anupchar? It depends what perspective am I looking at it. So we have to compare, we have to remember perspective here, okay? It may not answer, I know it's not clear in your mind and it's not giving you the right answer at this point. Once we are done with these things, it will absolutely clarify, because Naya is sapex and it's never been nirpex. Nirpex means it's not without any association. Naya is always with association. So when you are telling me one thing alone, from what perspective you are talking about this point? Excuse me. Are you telling me this mode of soul as a substance, attribute is a knowledge attribute, and a pure mode coming out? If you're talking this mode, and on this side there's another mode of increase of attachment, then increase of attachment is a upchar, and this mode is anupchar. Now, same mode here, soul substance, knowledge attribute, pure mode of the knowledge attribute here. Now, I'm also on this side, I'm saying I'm the eternal soul substance here. Then this becomes upchar, because it becomes transient mode. So, it may not make any sense right now to other listener. We will come to those things later on, but this is the question raised, so at least we have to answer that question. So, upchar means two ways to look at it again. Thing which is away from me, upchar. Thing occupying same space point as a soul is a anupchar. That's a gross way of description. Final way of description, thing which is there within me which can be removed. Means increase of attachment can be removed, increase of aversion can be removed, anger can be removed, deceit can be removed, greed can be removed, ego can be removed. So that's why they are upchar. And anupchar means I have the attribute of soul, I have the knowledge attribute, conduct attribute, faith attribute within me that never gets separated from the soul. And that's why they are called anupchar, the final way. Having understood that part, and again, if there's question, please raise this one question right now. Okay, then what is this thing coming here? Metaphorical. Move this thing away. Okay. To show cause and effect between one substance with other, one attribute with other, one mode with other, with one substance with its attribute and mode as one substance. This is known as conventional uses, means metaphorical or symbolic or upchar. Same thing what we described in the previous slide, we are putting in a bullet form. So upchar means to have two separate things to make it as a one. Now, it could be soul, substance, and attribute, or soul, substance, and somebody's modes and everything. So those are the things. And what we describe, gross way and finer way. So it just mixes up both the things over here and telling us what is upchar, or metaphorical or conventional uses. Glass of water, bottle of butter. If we are talking that one, that's called upchar, because here glass has separate space point, water has separate space point, bottle has separate space point, butter has a separate space point, and now we are merging them together. That's called upchar. Now, in the absence of principal thing, presence of an object or instrumental cause is called conventional uses or symbolic or upchar. Here, glass and water, two separate entities are there, so we are ignoring both the principal things and we are using the instrumental cause, having water present in the glass, and that's why it's called glass of water. So that's why it's called symbolic or upchar. Conventional point of view is known as metaphorical, symbolic, or figurative. Different names are given for the upchar. For anupchar, these are same revision slide that what we talk. Absence of symbolic or upcharik, or absence of upadhi. What is upadhi? Upadhi means absence of fallacy, absence of antimony, absence of condition, absence of alien belong. So all those things are called literal standpoint of view or anupcharik. For our mind's understanding, upchar means separate from a separate space point, or things can be taken out from me. Anupchar means it occupies same space point, or it is intimately related with the soul, can never be removed out. So that's called anupchar and upchar. Again, same thing is said over here. It just summarizes the slide that upchar means to show cause and effect between one substance with other, one attribute with the other, one mode with the other, with one substance with the attribute mode at other substance. This is same thing what we talked about in a bullet form. And anupchar, literal standpoint of view, is exactly opposite of those things. Having said that, now I'm just going to throw a conventional point of view, asadbhut vyavarne. Remember asadbhut vyavarne, impure synthetic conventional point of view? Two separate things to consider as one. That's an impure synthetic conventional point of view. Two separate entity to consider as one is an impure synthetic conventional point of view, or asadbhut vyavarne. There are two divisions, anupcharit and upcharit. Two separate things to be considered as one can be divided into two parts, upcharit and anupcharit. For example, this is my phone. This phone is a separate space point. I have a separate space point, and I consider them as one. This is mine. This is mine. I put ownership on it. So this is upcharit, impure, synthetic, conventional point of view. Now, anupcharit. Anupcharit, in impure, synthetic, conventional point of view, from literal standpoint or real standpoint, I am the body. Means soul and body occupy same space point. They are extremely close to each other.
Kirit, why is that asadbhut versus sadbhut?
Because body is a matter and I am the soul. and both are occupying same space point. For example, in this room, there are, for example, I put a red light, green light, and blue light. The room will have all the three lights together. And as somebody entering the room, they say, oh, it looks beautiful. But in actuality, red light has a separate space point, blue light has a separate space point, green light has a separate space point, but they are staying together. Similarly, soul and matter having two separate entities but occupying same space point. You know, on my forehead, soul's presence is there. On my toe, soul's presence is there. On my entire body, soul's presence is there because they occupy same space point. So,
And can you have Sadbudh Upcharit Vyavane, like SAD Bhut Upcharit? Is that possible?
Sadbudh Upcharit. Why?
Yes.
No, yeah, okay, all right. Now, if you are talking from the gross point of view, if you want to say, this is Upcharit, my phone, and my body is Anupcharit, but it can be also called Sadbudh from compared to the Upcharit impure synthetic convention point of view perspective. So if we take this green bullet's perspective, then this red bullet perspective can be called in a very gross point of view as a Sadbudh, but in a finer way, in a Kunkun Swami's way, Amrit Chandracharya's Dev's way, and Gurudev Kanji Swami's way, matter is a matter and soul is a soul, and they are always separate, so they cannot be Sadbudh. Sadbudh means it is exactly, as we said, what is Sadbudh? Soul has an infinite attribute. That's a Sadbudh. Because it is present in the soul and they cannot be taken out. But I am the body. So me as a soul and body are two separate, occupying same space point, so they cannot be said Sadbudh. They are always a Sadbudh because they are two separate entities. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So impure synthetic could be Anupcharit, Upcharit, and so is a pure synthetic can be Upcharit and Anupcharit. And so ultimately, if we look at it, I'll just jump one slide. So conventional point of view can be divided. So far what we learned, that it could be impure synthetic or it could be pure synthetic. Impure synthetic showing unity of distinct entity. I'm the body, I'm Kirit, for example, or this is mine, or this is my body, or this is my phone. They are entirely separate and still considered as one. So it's called impure synthetic conventional point of view.
Kiran, can you give an example? Can you give an example of Sadbudh Upcharit Vyavane?
Okay.
I know you said that it doesn't really happen in
We are coming to that. We are coming. Okay. So first, let's finish this slide first. Asadbudh means impure synthetic expressing unity of distinct entity. Phone is mine, body is mine, means those are the matter, and I just put my ownership, so it's asadbudh, means impure synthetic. That can have two things, Upcharit and Anupcharit. Upcharit means thing which is away from my space point, which is symbolic, figurative, metaphorical, wrong. So this is phone is mine. If I say, that's called symbolic, impure synthetic convention point of view. Now, Anupcharit or literal or real means body is mine. I am the body, right? So means my body is a matter and me as a soul are occupying same space point at this point. But still they're separate. Because they're separate, they're called asadbhut or impure synthetic. But because they're so close to each other, it's called literal, real, or anupcharit. So literal, impure, synthetic point, or impure synthetic, empirical point of view, conventional point of view, that means I am the body. Very close association. Now, Ankit's question here. Sadbhut. Sadbhut means it's there. It's there in that substance. For example, I have knowledge attribute within me. I have knowledge mode within me. I have a faith attribute within me. I have a faith mode within me. I have a conduct attribute within me. I have a conduct mode within me. I have inclination of attachment within me. I have anger within me. I have greed within me. They are within me in the soul, not in the body. Body doesn't do the anger. Soul is and end up doing anger in its own deluded state. But the deluded state belongs to the soul. So that anger, deceit, ego, greed, which are present in the soul's mode, but they can be removed. They can be taken away. Because they can be taken away, so it's a symbolic, pure synthetic, conventional point of view. So answer, Ankit's answer, that here anger, deceit, ego, greed, inclination of attachment, inclination of aversion, and ignorance, all those things are called upcharit or symbolic or figurative or metaphorical, because they can be removed from me. Anger is not present in this phone. Anger is not present in this cube. Anger is not present in this book. Anger is present only in the soul, but it can be removed. It can be taken away. Because it can be taken away, that's why it's called symbolic. But because it's present in the soul, that's why it's a pure synthetic. And last thing is anupcharit, literal, real, means I have the knowledge attribute within me, can never, never, never be separated from the soul. Anger, deceit, ego, greed can be separated from the soul, but knowledge, faith, conduct, all those attributes and their modes cannot be taken out from the soul. So that's why they are literal, pure synthetic, conventional point of view. So these are the things that we have to understand. So these are the conventional point of views divided into this four separate entity. So if I say this phone belongs to me, that means it's a symbolic, impure synthetic, conventional point of view. I am the body. Body and me are separate but still considered to be together, and they're occupying same space point. So it's a literal, impure synthetic, conventional point of view, or anupcharit, asadbhut, vyavarnai. Anger, deceit, ego, greed, or diluted state, rag and dvesh, all those things are within me but can be taken out. That's why they are symbolic, pure synthetic, conventional point of view, or upcharit, sadbhut, vyavarnai. They can be taken out. But my knowledge attribute, knowledge mode, faith attribute, faith mode, conduct attribute, conduct mode, all those things cannot be taken out from me. They are part and parcel of the soul substance all the time. That's why they are called literal, pure synthetic, conventional point of view, or anupcharit, sadbhut, vyavarnai.
Kirit uncle?
Yes.
The Keval Gyan Paryay, is that upcharit sadbhut vyavarnai or anupcharit sadbhut vyavarnai?
You can put both ways. You can put both ways. Because with what you are comparing Keval Gyan Paryay with? If you are considering Keval Gyan Paryay along with the rag and dvesh, then it's an anupcharit sadbut vyavarne. But if you can say Keval Gnan Paryay is transient and soul substance is eternal, so from eternal perspective, transiency is also called Upcharit. So it can be said both Anupcharit and Upcharit, both. Remember, the Naya is always in association with something. It cannot be stand alone separately. It needs comparison. So if you say Keval Gnan Paryay, compared to what? Anger, deceit, ego, greed, compared to what? We just give very rough example to have this thing, this whole schema set in our mind right now. But again, it needs to have comparison. So when we go into Samaysar, Gurudev Kanji Swami will say, Kunkun Acharya Dev said, and Amritchandra Dev says that even Keval Gnan Paryay is Upcharit Sadbut Vyavar Nahi. Because it depends what angle we are talking about. And that's why important thing is to understand the schema here. If we understand this pro forma here, if we understand the skeleton, now we start putting information inside. Now it becomes much more sense to us. So those are things. We are already 10 minutes almost above. If there is any question, we can take it, because I wanted to at least finish up to this part before going to the next part. So any questions that it's there right now, let's entertain that one. Couple of minutes maybe, we'll take few more.
Anupcharit Sadbut Vyavarna would be also described as Atma and Ananta Guno.
Yes.
Anupcharit
Sadbut Vyavarna. Because those attributes cannot be taken out, right? They are always there in association with the soul. So because they are always there, cannot be taken out. That's why Anupcharit Sadbut Vyavarna, or literal pure synthetic convention point of view.
It was an excellent evening today. Excellent.
It needs to, we may have to imbibe on this one. We have to think about it. We have to reflect upon it. And later on, you sit down and try to digest these things. And it will make sense, okay? Actually, I will share this slide right now to you guys. I'm telling all these things and I never do it. But I'll share it out. So at least you can start reviewing those things your own, and it will make sense. Believe me, it will make sense.
Yeah, that will be very nice.
Any other questions? Okay, we can do the closing. Okay. Javani ke gyan se sujhe lokalok, sovani mastaka namu sada deta hu dok. 9 times Namuka mantra. Namo Jai Jinendra. There is one announcement I would like to do for next week because it's a Parisian time, and I think people are going to be tied up in their own